Good evening and welcome to the Administrative and Personnel Committee meeting for April 25th, 2025. Please rise for the prayer and pledge led by Reverend Wallace.
Let us pray. Father, we are grateful, and God, we thank you again for another day, and we thank you, God, for allowing us to be a part of this day. God, we thank you for keeping us thus far, Lord, and allowing us to be here on tonight. God, we ask that you would just have your way in this meeting, that you would allow, that you would guide our hearts, our minds, God, our words, and even what we're hearing, God, as we conduct business, God, in which you have allowed us and purposed us to be a part of in this season. We will do it with convictions to you, but also, God, that it will be according to your perfect plan and purpose to build our community, help our students, parents, and move this district forward into the future. We thank you, Father, for these many blessings. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Thank you, Reverend Wallace. Roll call, please.
Yes, sir. Reverend Wallace?
Here.
Mr. Bombard? Mr. Roberts?
Here.
Dr. Washington?
Present.
Mr. O'Banion?
Here.
Ms. Pichon? Ms. Karen Hardy Reynolds?
Here.
Mr. Brody? Mr. Russell? Sorry, there he is. Okay. Ms. Ayo? Ms. Gay? Mr. Tarver? Ms. Fontenot? Mr. Talley? And Mr. Hardison. All right, I think we're good, sir.
Thank you. Item number one, transportation request. Number one, Assistant Director of Transportation, new position. We'll go ahead and read all three for the record. Item two, Field Supervisor, new position. A3 is how to change from Transportation Fleet Supervisor to Transportation Personnel Supervisor. Can I get a motion? Larry, do them all three.
On the word, do we need a vote?
We have one.
We do.
Oh, committee, okay, never mind, okay, go ahead.
Can I get a motion?
Something.
A motion. Second, Ms. Reynolds. Right.
All right, starting with item number one there, Assistant Director of Transportation. Wanted to come before you folks today, and I met with a few of you in little committee meetings that I sent an email out about. But the first one is Assistant Director of Transportation, and what we're looking for here, we have our transportation department going in a very good direction. Mr. Aaron McDonald does a fabulous job. Our phone calls have gone from astronomical to hardly any, but I also worry that I'm wearing my man to a frazzle with what is expected in that position. That position, unlike many others, is a 24-hour deal. He's up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and we might have athletic events till 10, 11 o'clock at night. Bus breaks down, and he's having to arrange to get that bus back here. So it's very involved. So I felt, and along with him, we kind of put something together to come before you tonight and this evening and ask if we could possibly get this new position of Assistant Director of Transportation. What we're looking at is someone who can secure and maintain a CDL. We're also looking with this one for someone preferred that they have an educational leadership level 1 which is where most of our principals have. We handle way more parent situations than we've handled ever in the past. And Mr. McDonald right now, he's in the office when he can be in the office, but so much of it, he's having to get out of the office to go look at turnarounds where our buses make turnarounds and approve or not approve that, get it all lined up, handle parent situations out in the field. When you guys get a phone call from here, from time to time. And then when he's out, the office staff, which shouldn't have to handle any of those things, now we have parents showing up at the back door. And that assistant director could be in-house handling all the things that Mr. McDonald handles when he's in there. We'd have somebody in both areas. And as you can look at, the job description kind of put together, when we did have our meetings, we talked about the index level being at 1.4679, which is, up around 90,000. After meeting with a few of you at these little meetings, we're definitely willing to come off of that a little bit. I know Mr. Castillo made the point that it seems a little high. So we kind of compromised, and we looked at the elementary principal salary, which is around 70,000. And, we're comfortable with that. We were shooting for the stars, but after meeting with everybody, that made a little bit of sense. So we are willing to come off of that a little bit, if you guys will allow us to have this new position. So, do you have any questions for me? And also, I got Mr. McDonald here tonight. Is there anything that you want to add?
Okay, so that's item A1.
Yes, sir.
Any discussion? All right, seeing none, all in favor, aye? Take the vote. All in favor, aye? All opposed, no? Okay. All right, no's have it.
Okay. All right, number two.
We'll move on to A2.
Okay, number two, field supervisor. Again, new position. What we're looking for here is, like Mr. McDonald always says, we need to inspect what we expect. And this person, we're looking for probably a bus operator, I would imagine, CDL license, 10 years of successful driving experience. And what we're looking at here, what this is going to look like day to day, this person would, let's take the garage, for example. If you've ever seen the parking lot, got quite a few buses that are parked there in the evening time. When the bus drivers get there in the morning, they're supposed to pre-trip, check the bus out. There's there's a few things before they even gonna get in there and crank that bus up. This person would be in the field checking to make sure that we're checking those boxes and we're taking care of our equipment. Later in the afternoon, they might be in a school checking to make sure that the manifest that we have seating charts, we have all the documentation that we need to have in case there might be an accident, or checking to make sure they've done their safety protocols as far as yearly safety protocols that we have to take care of. So this person would be, like I said, inspecting what we expect to take care of our new equipment that we've purchased over the past few years. And we're asking that you guys approve and help us with this one.
Any discussion?
So what is the projected salary range for this, or salary?
On this one, it'd be around 46,000, but it also depends, Reverend Wallace, on what experience they have coming in. If someone's been with us for 10 years, let's say, it would be starting at that rate, but of course, we would give them their years of experience.
So what salary schedule would they fall under?
That would be auxiliary. Auxiliary, I think is G.
Sam?
How is this handled now? Like who's checking, who's doing this job now?
We have Mr. McDonald that does it when he can. Other than that, they have to fill out forms that they completed that and they turn those forms in. But again, we don't know that actually happens. We hope that it happens, but we don't know that it actually happens. It's much like our teachers. We do evaluations 2-3 times a year, depending on where. If they're a new teacher, they're going to get 3. A seasoned teacher will get two evaluations through the course of the year to make sure that they are doing what they're supposed to do, along with all the walkthroughs that we complete on our teachers. Same type of thing we're looking at
So
here.
the bus drivers, they do go through all these checks, and so this person would make sure the bus drivers are doing it.
Right.
Correct. Just
Somebody out in the field.
actually putting their eyes on what they're actually, what they're saying they're doing on paper.
How do we know if they're, like now, how do we know if they're not doing that now?
I can give you an example. Buses are supposed to have oil changes every 5,000 miles. And we just had a 25-mile bus, a brand new bus, brought in for the first time with 12,000 miles already on. So 7,000 miles gas oil change. So those mountains become old hills for us in regards to our equipment.
So does that mean the bus driver didn't do what they were supposed to do?
Yes, ma'am.
Are there consequences for that?
Yes, ma'am.
And the consequences aren't handling this itself?
Well, I mean, we're catching it 7,000 miles later where I can have somebody, just in random, I mean, we're large enough area. A group probably not going to be checked more than once every 2 or 3 months, making sure their paperwork that is required by state and federal laws on that bus and accurate day to day. And not those pre-trip forms that are, all the boxes are checked yes on the last day of the month when they turn it in.
Do other parishes our size have someone to check, make sure we don't know?
I don't know that answer.
Mr. O'Banion?
Yeah, I'm more inclined for this one. I think it's more important for the pre-trip because in reality, they just don't get done a lot of times. Now, we had talked about the, as far as the service, I mean, that's, yeah, I know it falls under this, but definitely like to see some kind of fleet tracking, you know, if it's feasible, because then you don't have to.
Right.
Yes, sir.
It'll show you at any time.
We've upgraded technology with our radio and our GPS, and there's more avenues where we can add. I mean, we can see engine temperatures now and certain pressure. And there's things that we think that it's just that's a money issue when you're dealing with a fleet, 350
Yeah.
plus buses like ours,
Well,
we're talking millions of dollars, you know.
It shouldn't be me, I mean,
Well, to get it started, and
yeah, but I'm just saying there are ways, because that's kind of what I deal with, you know, the rental company was for 95% of my, I mean, they put it on a little, you know, 545 phone, so there are ways to do it. I'm just, you know,
Ms. Brown?
I'm all for this position because this is about the safety of the kids and also the bus driver and Scotch Fair. So, I'm all for this position.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm for this position as well. I think it's needed. I think, there are a lot of bus drivers out there that just go through the motions and turn this stuff in. Unfortunately, they don't realize they're driving, a piece of equipment that, you know, the lights are out and the stop signs have come out and they didn't check that stuff. That could be a child that could get hit. And it's sad that we have to go behind employees or people in general to check these things. And, so I think it's important regarding that. I don't think this is a gotcha type job, you know, like, hey, we're coming to make sure, and we're coming to bust you, you know, I mean, I don't think that's what this type of job is. And I think that the bus drivers need to make sure that they're aware of that, become aware of that, you know, that we're not trying to just get them for not doing their job. It's just a matter of the stop sign doesn't have lights or if there's something wrong, you know, and a child could be in danger because of that. I check it. Also, in this person, like you said, you can turn around, go and check where a bus turns around. Can this person be, you know, what is this person going to do if they're out there at 6:30 in the morning, checking, make sure these bus drivers are doing their pre-checks and everything? What are they going to be doing at 9 o'clock?
Well, so
maybe check and turn
right,
around.
that would be the time, because I usually do, I go out in the field from 9 to 11, 1 to 3. And we have a new development of the apartment complex that's about to open up. It's in a private drive. You know, the property owner invites us to come out there to make sure it's certain depth, so we're not tearing up their concrete or their newly developed construction. And they just be my eyes and ears to check all of that. If not, we start planning when they have that open day where we can safely pick up those kids and drop them off. And in some of our residential areas, you know, I have a lot of meetings with, right now, Sahara, who's doing the pipeline in the Carlos area all the way up to High Hope going into, Beauregard Parish. I'm meeting with them constantly because their work, even though they're boring under the road, they do have areas that they're opening off that we've got to modify stops. And so that's just one less thing that takes me out of the office in the field that person can do, and I can stay put here.
All right.
46,000, and then whatever experience they might come in with. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Washington.
Just one other quick question. A bus driver would be able to apply for this position.
Yes, ma'am.
And the qualifications
We're actually kind of tailoring it for a bus operator.
All right. Seeing no further discussion, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, number 3, we're just asking for a title change on this one from a fleet supervisor to a personnel supervisor for Ms. Linnell Broussard. 2-3 years ago, we basically brought everything in-house with payroll as far as the transportation department goes, because there was so many mistakes that we were making monthly. And so that put a different kind of burden on the department. So Ms. Linnell, she pretty much works with Mr. Snyder and Ms. Misty in the payroll department to make sure everything's as close as we can get it. That way we're not overpaying or underpaying any of our drivers. And along with any compliance issues that we have that she's in charge of. So that job just changed a little bit over the past couple of years, and because of that, we want to make the change to personnel supervisor instead of fleet. Other than that, that's really all there is, and we've scratched out number 4, number 12 on the performance responsibilities in the packet. So,
Any discussion?
No state change, no name,
no ma'am,
or
just
lead person.
the name, yes ma'am.
All right. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to B, public conduct on school properties. Motion by Mr. Catfield, second by Mr. Van.
All right, the only thing we're doing with, we have 2 policies, we're fixing to get to the other one as well, but as a lot of you know, when language changes or things that are added to policies, it might affect multiple policies within our policy manual. This is gonna hit these 2 in particular. The one we're on right now is public conduct on school property. All we're looking to do is make some changes there or add some language to it to where we're asking for clear bags to be, you have to have a clear bag to get into any of our sporting events in Calhoun Parish, is what we're adding to it. And everything in blue is what we've added to that. And like I said, the main, really the change is clear bag policy. We've come, it's been a while, we came and we talked about clear bags for book sacks and for students and all throughout the campus. And we said no to that, but now we're coming back with clear bags for sporting groups, our sporting events only.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously. C, visitors to the schools.
Same thing here.
Got a motion by Mr. Castillo, second by Ms. Reynolds.
I'm sorry, jumped the gun there. Same thing here, clear bags again, just that, line at the bottom, to ensure the safety of Calhoun Parish school sporting events. Calhoun Parish School Board has instituted a clear bag policy at all sporting events and sporting venues. And again, just clear bag policy, it affected these two, so.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
I just have one quick
Dr.
question.
Ward?
Can we consider bottles of water and things like that?
We have not had that
We have
discussion,
not.
no.
Will we consider that in the future?
We can definitely put that down, yes, ma'am.
All right. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously. We'll go on to D. Consideration of motion to take the table, please. Agenda item regarding changing the name of the position of Director of Career and Technical Education to Administrative Director of Career and Technical Education. Need a motion by Mr. O'Banion, second by Dr. Washington. We do have a blue card, so we're gonna go to that first. So, Terry Johnson. Please state your name for the record and address, and you'll have 5 minutes.
Terry Johnson, 1515 Palermo Drive, Sulphur, representing Southwest Louisiana, Calhoun Federation of Teachers. I just, this has been before the board before, and I mean, I'm not saying that Mr. McCarl doesn't do a bang-up job, but according to the organizational chart, there are 12 directors on there. So I'm wondering, is everybody going to be bumped up? And then, because if you do for one, you need to do for the others. It's, I don't know, I mean, Ms. Jackson has, what, 37 elementary schools she's responsible for, not to mention the principals and all the teachers. And it's just, that's a question, because fiscally, we don't know what's gonna come out of Baton Rouge and, or DC. And so I'm wondering if the time is right for this or not. And, will we see everybody get an increase? Because I represent, you know, the people in the trenches. And even though they appreciate the $2,000 that is made permanent in their salary schedule, if they see somebody getting a raise and a change of, you know, title, just because of change of title, it's just not gonna be good optics for this time, especially when everything is going up. It's the nature of the beast for where we live and what we're dealing with environmentally, politically. So that's my question. How far are we gonna go?
Thank you. Any discussion? Reverend Wall.
Just a quick question. Ms. Johnson brought up some of the points that I think in the initial meeting, the A&P meeting we had last month. Do we have any reports or analysis? Because it was requested that we, and I think we, some other board members asked for just if we could look across the board at different directors and do like a comparison and just kind of seeing where duties and responsibilities would equate to
Yes, sir.
what's been requested today.
Yeah.
Because
It was requested for, to have an org chart, and you should have that up there, which kind of lays out everybody's position and who they report to. And,
this is the,
that's the org chart. Yes, sir.
okay, but other than the org chart, like I know what org chart was requested, but it was also requested for information regarding just comparing different directors, because if you do one, I think I made that comment, you have to do for all. I mean, we can't be partial.
Reverend Wallace, I'm not going to cut you off. It's a mistake on my part. We have to vote on taking off the table first.
Okay, yes, sir.
So that's, I apologize for that. So
motion to take from the table, like the motion to lay on the table, is non-debatable.
So let's vote on that to put it back on,
Yes, sir.
and then we'll proceed like we're. Okay, so we're gonna vote on whether to bring this back to the table, off the table, correct? All right, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. All right, motion passes. I apologize.
So, thank you.
You may proceed.
Right. Yeah, so that was just requested. I mean, but there, so we don't have anything other than the chart.
What I wrote down, which I requested, Reverend Ross, and if I'm wrong, I apologize.
Yeah, you go back and.
Yeah, an org chart was asked for, and then just more information about Mr. McCardle and what he does. I know there was some discussion about some other folks, but.
Yeah, and it was I did go back and listen. I mean, it's neither here nor there, but it was requested for just an analysis to kind of comparing different directors. We did have a few names that did come up, or positions, because it's not really focusing on the.
If you give me who you want to look at, I can, with this org chart, I can figure it out. Because
Well, we're
I've
here
got 'em
today.
all here.
We're here today. But I do have another question, just, on some things, and just, you know, and I understand all points of view and, all sides and of this and, budgetary and just all the above, fiscal responsibility and those things. But I am reminded, and we respect, the process of democracy. It's where we are. And, respecting each and every one of my counterparts here, they should know that I have utmost respect for them, no matter what. With that being said as well, you know, last month, a little under a month ago for our general board meeting, we did, as a board, and as you all know, that I voted no for budget revisions. And my reason for that was because of the simple fact that Ms. Johnson stated, you know, we can't do for one and not do for all or others, because all faculty, staff, employees, personnel for this district, they're vitally important, and they're assets to this district in keeping us moving forward and meeting the goal of changing students' lives and impacting our community. But however, you know, when I think about that, you know, we did, and it passed, even though I did not support it, it passed for budget revisions for raises as well as reclassifications of different personnel. And some were significantly higher than, let's say, if from a director to an administrative director, in numbers wise and salary wise, at least 3 times higher, and some were the same amount, but some were moved from one position, reclassified to the other, and were given increases, let alone those that will be coming next year, for the $2,000 and $1,300 for teachers and staff. And so my question to this is, and you know, it's not about politics, it's about principle. It's about doing people right and putting yourself in their shoes. How can we do for one and approve budget revision for a number of individuals, but when it comes to this, we're saying no? What's the difference? And this is not just towards you, Mr. Valentine, no, because you look at it, this is just in general. But however, how can we justify approving revision for raises and reclassifications, but then when it comes to this particular position, we're saying no as a board? And I know that that's out, but, and so just with me, my conviction is it's not about politics, but principle, because I put myself in the shoes of other individuals thinking that, you know, whether or not I'm assigned tasks or whether or not I take on extra tasks or by my own will, all of us do, because when we apply for jobs, when we apply for supervision jobs or whatever that may be, we're saying to ourselves, hey, I think I can do this and I want to progress my career. I want to grow. So our reason behind the budget revision was, some of the reasons rather, was because that there were individuals that took on more tasks and more duties. And to me, my heart, and prayerfully, I'm convicted to say, you know what? This is the same thing. There is no difference. And should it be treated different? Should we treat it different? Should we set the precedent of saying, you know what? We're gonna approve this same thing, some significantly higher in numbers wise, and not approve this person. Not thinking about the person in the position, but the title or the actual position itself. You know, you gotta take away the person, but is it right? No, it's not right to approve many and not one, which is the same. And understand that this has to come before us because of the nature and the relationship, and we understand those different factors. But however, with me, my conviction is that I cannot in clear conscience say, okay, hey, yeah, I did vote no for the budget revision, and I'm about to be done. I did vote no for the budget revision a few weeks ago, but however, it passed. And it's not right to say no to one individual. And it's the same thing, it's no difference. And it's not even, when you look at it, it's about what, maybe close to a $4,000 increase. And this isn't just the individual, but this is just in general, period. Do people right? And so it's about what, 4,000, I believe, from director to administrative director. Okay. And so, you know, you think about that and just help me out. Have we, or did we approve under the budget revision, not going back there, but were there some that were a lot higher than this 4,000?
There was some higher.
And that was the reason why was because they took on more responsibilities and duties, right? And so, hey, and so that's where I stand on this. It's not about the person or the people in the position, but it's principle. And I believe in doing people and doing right. Even though we may not agree with it, I'm gonna lay my head down and go to sleep very comfortably. Thank you, Washington.
I want to be very, very clear, because I've been in this position before, and I want everyone to understand. Township Parish School Board did not have a written policy when there were more than one department merged together under one person. I was director of alternative programs. When I applied and was appointed director of special services, I then had two different departments. Mr. Workhouse, who was superintendent at the time, said, we will have to make you administrative director because when there are more than one department under one person, that's what we do. I understand the politics behind, not politics, the legalities behind why this wasn't presented from the administration. And you all understand that as well. And I want to be very clear to certain people that I'm advocating for this position because has been our policy and procedure. I think the last person who received, who was appointed administrative director was Dr. Jupiter. And she had Head Start and early childhood. They've always been under that department. But because it's two different areas, it was granted. Now let me tell you why I'm advocating for administrative director for this position. I want to be clear, so that there are no misunderstandings. I have two grandchildren in this district. One asks me every day, can I quit school? I know that at some point, she's going to be in the performing arts department and it's going to make her love school. I know this already. I need this program to continue to grow. so that children like my grandchild will be able to find something within the school system that will make them love school every day. We need this program to continue to grow. I also want to say that when I was director of alternative programs, before I could approve a program, or implement a program, or a resource, introduce a resource to the campuses, I had to go to elementary, middle school, high school, special education. I had to go to every department to get them to approve something that I had hands-on experience with. That is not fair to a person who's over visual and performing arts, who's over counseling services, who's over career and technical programs. Those are all 3 different programs that we're trying to put under one person, and you want to keep this salary where it is, you want to keep the title where it is, that's 3 different departments. It's not fair, it's not consistent with the protocol that we've established as school board members, and I'm requesting that we reconsider this.
Mr. Van,
On the administrative directors that we have now, I mean, I guess there's meetings on that level that only they go to.
Yes.
I just, not so much from a dollars, cents point of view, because, you know, if we take out the building director pay that we talked, it's really not much of a difference, but I just feel like we should, if we do this, we're making CTE just as important as anything else. I mean, we say it every day, but I think this will show how important it is to us to have a seat at that table for career technical education.
anybody else? I just have a few, I'm sorry, go ahead.
On, the fine arts and the counselors and some other things, we have supervisors of talented arts or visual and whatever it's called. And we have a supervisor over counselors as well. We have a supervisor over the band, whatever those different things are. Is that correct? Consultants, okay. And so they report to Mr. Park, is that correct? Okay. And then at that point, he would report to Mr. Keith. For the most part, career and technical education, I know it kind of falls whenever you have art in the elementary school, it falls under that. And your choir and all that good stuff, falls under middle schools and high schools as well. But for the most part, the majority of it falls underneath high school. Is that correct?
I would say middle and high.
Middle and high?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Because most middle and highs have choir and some type of band program.
But there's someone that's over, a supervisor.
Yes, sir.
Over them.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So where I'm going with this is I think we have an administrative director of high school that oversees the curriculum and the director of curriculum and the director of career and technology. We have supervisors that oversees under that, we have supervisors that oversee the counselors and everything else as well. My point being, is I don't think we need I'm not even looking at income or pay or budget or anything like that. My point being is I don't think that we need another administrative director over just CTE. Because I think we have that person for the high school.
Well, when you talk about Ms. Abear, she is the director of curriculum instruction. That's over the high schools, but she does not go into the CTE.
Right, well, I understand that, but I'm saying they both report to Mr. Keith.
Correct, yes, sir. Ms. McCarver handles all that on CTE.
Anybody else?
Can I say one thing?
Absolutely.
I'm just gonna piggyback on what Dr. Washington said. Mr. Doherty, I know you know who that is, my old, my old principal, my old boss, he said, and it's true today as it was 30 years ago, kids come for PE, recess, lunch, band, chorus, and then while they're there, we get to teach them a little bit along the way. Those subjects are so important, and those programs are so important. This would kind of, it gives credence to what's going on in those areas. I can tell you as a former principal, my band program, when I took over Salk High School, we had 75 people in it. When I left, we had over 300. I had more scholarships that were granted to the band program and more ACT scores coming out of the band program than I had in whole school. These are important. So I just, whichever way we go, that's the way we go. But these areas, they're very vital. We need them, and we need them to be very good at all our schools. I wish we could have it in every elementary school as well.
Can you remind us of when these other responsibilities were added, which I assume was the visual and performing arts and the college programs?
I know Mr. Brookhouse was, he was superintendent here, and Mr. Vidrine, am I saying that right? Mr. Vidrine was over the arts and the band and everything. When he retired, that's when Mr. McCall took over. It was before, I want to say it was before I got a job, so it's been 5-6 years at least.
So the Vidrine was in charge of the visual performing arts and
He was in charge of the art programs, and
Mr. McCardle's taking that on.
yes, sir. Yeah,
And that position has not been filled.
correct.
The only comment I really have, and I understand it's a unique situation, but every superintendent I've worked for, or been on the board with, not worked for, served under, has had the ability to do this without coming to us. And I know this is a unique situation, and I think it's very respectful that you do, but it just gets muddy if we're going to do this all the time. I understand if there's a big change, but to me, this really isn't. It's significant. The money's irrelevant. Maybe not to Mr. McCardle, but it's really. And I know you can't do that without, in your current situation as superintendent. But I'm aware of several positions that were elevated. Washington was one of them, and there's some others under that, at a lower level that were elevated, and the board had no clue about.
Yes.
And the financial aspect was even more significant. And so, I appreciate you bringing it to us. I prefer that we don't even have to mess with it because of this topics of it. But I think Mr. McCardle, that department is critical. Ever since I've been on the board, I've watched that thing just blow up. And you look at, I know people that come out of there with a trade that are making a lot more than people come out of the East. That, they didn't go to swell. They just went straight and started working HVAC or welding. And so I think that's where, I think there's a big trend going that way. And in Southwest Louisiana, with all the industry that's coming, that's here. I mean, we are an industrial community. And, I don't have a problem. So, that's my 2 cents. We got discussion. All right.
I kind of agree with Ms. Johnson about opening up that can of worms, and I like the things that I don't think the board should have to do this, but we are. And since I'm a part of that, then I'm not in favor of this. We have supervisors for all of those different areas already. And then,
The consultants, you said.
consultants.
Yes, ma'am.
Consultants. We have someone overlooking the whole program, and I feel Dr. Washington's passion. I have 14 grandbabies, and several of them are in the arts, and I think it's extremely important. I think we're to develop the whole child. But like Reverend said, I mean, I had to lay my head down, and, you know, we gave these people $2,000, and if we want to change the name and not do a raise, okay. But a lot of those positions, from my understanding, he volunteered for. And we have consultants that all of these people answer to already. And I'm gonna vote no. I don't know who else is gonna want to raise after this, and like, I answer to my teachers and my constituents, and I'm not gonna tell them that I okay.
Ms. Reynolds?
So I have a question about the career coaches. They said they added 3 full-time career coaches. That's in addition to the consultant?
Can you say the question again?
Yes, it says 3 full-time coaches, career coaches. Is that in addition to the consultant?
Yes, the career coaches are simply teachers on the teacher salary schedule that go around and they meet with students 5 days a week and speak to students individually about career paths while they're in middle school and high school.
I just was wondering about the staffing. I mean, I'm kind of torn with this. I know we have to make decisions, and I'm sorry, I missed the meeting for previous reasons that I could not help. This is a tough one, because if we start opening up for assistant director positions, and we have other ones to have everybody else can look at too as well as job descriptions.
Dr. Washington?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
can you tell us, if any of the other directors, if they work with more than one area, one department?
Most of them just work in one department.
And can you tell me the consultants, their role in career tech? The consultants, career tech, counseling, whatever. Can you tell me their role?
The roles of the consultants in career tech.
In
Give us
that
a card.
department?
But it's just like the other consultants in high school. If you have math, science, social studies, or ELA, these consultants have 2 of those that divide up all the curriculums in career tech education. We divide them up, for example, culinary, trades and industry, and health sciences in one area, and then business facts and jobs for graduates in the other area. So they divide those curriculums up, and each one of them takes up.
And specifically, what do they do with the curriculum?
Well, they analyze and help with a lot of the curriculums that we have, match a standardized national test. So we have to develop student curriculum to match that. So that way, when they do take their credentialing exam, the adults take, it's just like an adult taking it, right? Because that's what we call, when they graduate, they're job ready. So we develop curriculums that match that are student friendly. So we develop most of the curriculums.
So that they don't actually provide any supervisory responsibilities for the teachers.
No, ma'am, consultants are not supervisors, no, ma'am.
So if I were a stats teacher and I had some difficulty, who would be the person?
Well, if it was a curriculum issue or something that needed help with a consultant, if it were some other administrative issue, it would be me.
inspector here. It's an administrative issue, so people are calling. Okay, so who determines what material and supplies I need?
Well, it's all based on the curriculum, and then we go through and we supply the teachers and we order the materials for them, and we get that to them.
And are there any grant monies for that? And if so, who supervises, who applies for the grants and manages that?
That, you're probably referring to the Carl Perkins, grant, that's a federal grant, I do that alone. Does that really need to be one person that touches that, because I'm responsible for that entire budget? So I do those courses alone.
And if my granddaughter wanted to be in performing arts, who determines what criteria would be needed for her to participate in a program such as that?
Well, it would be a cooperative endeavor between the band director, consultant, and myself.
And if she were to become a part of that program and she had difficulty, who would I call?
You can call me.
Thank you.
All right. Go ahead, Mr. Castillo.
Yeah, I was looking at the, I guess it's applied PowerPoint, so for, what are the CTE administrators? Is it two of them? Is that the same thing as the consultant for the trade industry, the business?
That's the principal, assistant principal that's over the College Street Vocational Center site, and also the Westlake Trades and Industry site.
So that way you can put them on public.
Anybody else? All right, seeing no other discussion. Mr. I'm sorry. I didn't see you. I'm deaf and blind.
And I just think this is making a mistake, kind of a real unit, to industry, ABC, everybody that deals with that we do value CTE. We're just trying to make it efficient. I just want to say that again.
All right. We're ready for a vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay?
Okay.
2 nays. Ayes have it. Moving on. Item E, updated job descriptions.
All right, this is our next batch of job descriptions. And we do have to, we need to make a couple of changes if we, y'all can bear with me. When you're looking at the packet, third page in, it says job description for the chief technology officer. And where it says reports to, we need to change that to a superintendent right there, and we'll make that change. I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And then the last 2 pages of the packet, second to last page is job description for a bus driver. Under performance responsibilities, number 12, we're just gonna strike number 12 completely out, and we'll make that change and have that ready for the board meeting, the official board meeting. And the last page, job description for a bus aide, performance responsibilities, number 6, we're gonna strike, this one reads, will escort the children to a neutral ground away from traffic. We need to strike that part out because they're not supposed to leave the bus, and we missed that one. But we are going to leave that we assure a responsible adult is present to accept the student when he or she is brought home. So we're going to make a correction on that one. And Mr. Bourne found another one. Okay. That's, okay, yeah. That's Chief Technology Officer again. They do not supervise data processing, so we're going to strike that one. Sorry about that. We had to do, hundreds and hundreds of job descriptions, so we messed up a few on you, but we'll get those corrections made.
I don't know if this is a correction or not, you know, this is okay. It says on the Director of Child Welfare and Attendance reports to the Assistant Superintendent of Auxiliary Services.
Yeah, we'll change that, of course, to the chief academic officer.
I don't know if y'all mentioned that.
Didn't catch that one, thank you.
Anything else? Good? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Motion by Mr. Van, second by Mr. Cassidy. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Nay, excuse me. Motion passes unanimously. Motion to adjourn. All second by Mr. Van, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passes. We're adjourned.